Welcome to the Echo Essentials podcast. I am Chris Piekarski, and I am flying solo today. But on today's episode, we have from OUTLoud North Bay, founder Seth Compton, as well as one of the youth leaders and mentors and volunteers, Riley Ong, when they went on a trip to Toronto to meet the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, at Queen's Park. It was a cool little story. We had a great chat. We talked a bit about how they got there, how they were invited, the chit chat. We name dropped Prince Edward on the first name. It was really fun. It's a great episode. We cannot wait for you to listen to it. But before we get to that, I do want to thank our title and lead sponsor, Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay.
North Bay's turning 100, and what a time to be here. From the buzz of the Heritage Parade to sunset concerts at the waterfront, the city is alive with celebration. And you know who's right in the middle of it all? Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. We're proud to be a part of this milestone moment. Whether you're coming home from a family reunion, planning a gathering with friends, or just simply making the most of everything the Centennial has to offer, our doors are open. Stay in a spacious suite that feels like home, with a full kitchen to cook in, room to relax, and a space to unwind after a full day of fun. Are you hosting something bigger? Our event spaces and amazing local partners like the Grand and Stock Transportation make it easy to bring people together. Best of all, they're just steps from the action. The fireworks, the food trucks, the music, the laughter, it's all right here. Celebrate 100 years of North Bay with us. Use code Centennial to save on your stay anytime this year. Be at home with Homewood Suites by Hilton North Bay. Join the party today at 495 Oak Street West or give us a call at 705-495-3000.
Today, I have two lovely guests with me who just came back from a awesome trip, and we're going to hear all about it. But first, we have Seth Compton and Riley Ong. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, anytime. Happy to have you in. And obviously, we have a couple things to talk about today. The one thing we're going to get to is the Duke of Edinburgh meet and greet. I call it meet and greet. It's not a meet and greet, but it kind of looked like it was.
Yeah.
But just how have you been lately? What's going on in your lives right now?
Life is good.
Yeah.
Do you want to get right into how the invitation came?
I would love to.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah. So, last May, the Lieutenant Governor General of Ontario, Eden Dumont, came to visit North Bay. And so she made a few pit stops through the community, Canadore College being one of them, the Indigenous Friendship Center being another, and she came to OUTLoud. Being a retired teacher, the minute she hit the top of the stairs, she started to cry. And one of the comments that she made was, every city in our province needs a space like OUTLoud. And so it was very impactful. It was an amazing opportunity for us to have someone so important, stop by the space, to see the work that we do. And I think that we made her good books, I guess, Later in the year, she was invited to a King's Plate honorary dinner. And every year there's the person that's the guest of honor gets to choose a charity to donate to, so she donates out loud.
Wow.
So it's been like a rolling ball of just positive connections. And then what happened later in the same year was that our organization was gifted 5 King Charles III coronation medals. So there was a few of us that won, an honorary medal, me being one of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then, early June, we got an email from the Lieutenant Governor's office with a private invitation to meet the Duke of Edinburgh. And so it was to honor our organization and the work we do with merging leaders in our youth community.
Cool. Very exciting. Okay. I was wondering, like I didn't get invited to this list. I'm not important at all, but I was like, how do I get on this list? But that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. I had no idea. Maybe I like to think I'm well read on city topics and issues. Every now and then I'm reminded myself that I'm not as well as read as I thought I was, because I had no idea she was here. It would have been really cool if we could have snagged her on the show, but it's so cool to hear that, she saw what you guys are doing and was like, this is something that has to be supported. And for our listeners and our viewers, for those who maybe aren't way versed in what OUTLoud does, can you maybe explain to them what you do on a day-to-day at large?
Yeah, sure. So we're a community center that supports youth between the ages of 10 and 18. When we opened our doors in 2020, it was our focus was to support to us LGBTQ youth. Our focus is still that, but we've grown beyond that demographic, which is kind of cool because the space that we've created is to create harmony in our community between youth, between families, and create that love, understanding, and respect between people. And that's exactly what we do. So we provide programming like life skill workshops, art therapy. We have an ultimate gaming experience with 6 big screen TVs, different gaming consoles. So it's a way when you walk through the door, there's something there that will bring people together, right? Whether it's the arts and crafts, whether it's the karaoke night, whether it's the gaming consoles, whether it's, the cooking nights, all of those things are ways to bring people together. So when we look at the mental health crisis that we're in right now, we're trying to do the preventative work, right? Create peer-to-peer support networks. We're, because we see the gaps in services. So we've become that middle man between the gap, right? So it's a neat, fun, safe space for kids to interact with each other. And, it's something that I wish I had as a kid. So I've taken all those things and I've put them under one roof.
You've taken the words from my mouth. I'm a North Bay local. I'm from the area. I'm born and raised here. Like all those things, it sounds so cool. I have to come and visit because I would love to check out the gaming setup. I'm a mega nerd. Anyone who knows me understands this, that I'm sad right now I can't afford a Switch 2. I like to think many people can't, unfortunately. But that sounds amazing because it sounds like a place to belong.
Yeah.
Right? It sounds like a place that you can kind of go and be comfortable and be welcome and just, again, feel safe, right? It's a place to be.
Yeah, and I mean, the other demographics that we're seeing more now is neurodivergent. So we have a lot of kids coming in from community living, One Kid's Place, Children's Aid, right? So those other organizations that we've partnered with, we're able to help serve and provide services for those youth as well.
Very cool. And so you weren't alone when you went to Toronto. You had some friends go with you, and Riley is one of them, right? So Riley, how was the trip? How cool was this?
Too cool to put into words.
Well, we are on a podcast to put it into words.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm still trying to process a lot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't really even process anything about what was going on until the night before.
Okay.
And started freaking out about every wrinkle in my shirt because I was like, oh my God, I'm meeting royalty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a crazy sentence to come out of anybody's mouth.
Yeah.
For sure, a once in a lifetime kind of experience. But no, it was really cool to have that experience and to kind of be there in the building with all those people and to soak it all in and be like, okay, everything I worked for and that I continue to work for is part of the reason I'm here.
Right.
It's.
And so did you get to meet Prince Edward is the name?
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of royals. I try to keep up with them, much like Pokemon. I try to remember them by name. There's a few of them I got to get used to. But Prince Edward was created Duke in 2023. I believe it was re-given back to him once another person, I think Charles, assumed to be the king. I think I'm getting this right. And did you get a chance to meet Prince Edward, the Duke?
Yeah. So the neat experience was when we walked into the lieutenant's chamber. We saw the Speaker of the House, Donna Skelly. There was some other members of Parliament, and there was about 75 guests. So when we looked at the tables, small round tables, it held 6 people. It was standing, and it was kind of like a small reception.
Okay.
We were assigned to a table with another organization, and so there was 13 tables and 2 organizations per table. So that's 26 organizations through the province of Ontario were privately invited to this special engagement.
Wow. VIPs over here. I feel honored.
I think what was really neat was just seeing the lieutenant governor come over and greet us and how excited she was that we were actually there because the invitation came and she was so excited that we made it. And, and then it was strange how it all happened. The email came in. I was just sitting at my kitchen table writing out my gratitudes that morning, and my phone went off, and I checked the email, and I had to bring it over to my wife because I'm like, what is this? Like, what does this mean? Because I'm not a big royal follower. Yes, I was a King Charles III Coronation Medal winner this year, but I don't pay attention to the politics or the royalties or any of that stuff.
It's pretty in depth.
It is.
Yeah.
So Edward is Charles' younger brother.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. It was really neat. I think that we were all kind of stunned just being in a space with so many important people that play a role in our community and in our province and in our country. To be in a room with 75 other people being recognized for the work that we do in our communities.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, you said something earlier that was really interesting to me, that the Lieutenant General was kind of like brought to tears, right? And I think having that kind of collaboration, recognition from those in government is important, right? And to help fund initiatives like OUTLoud, to kind of help get that recognition, support, opportunities to kind of do this. Like, it's tough to get a seat at any table. I imagine to get a seat at this table, it has its fair share of challenges, but like, this is amazing work that you've been able to kind of to avenue way into, right? I mean, I imagine this opens up avenues to create different dialogue, maybe at the provincial level, right?
It's really neat too, because Edward, or the Duke of Edinburgh, is highly. He participates in youth organizations and supports over 70 in his country, and around the world. And I think that one of his main focuses is on the youth. And so, when this opportunity came in, the email described emerging youth leaders, right? And so when I look at the work that we're doing at OUTLoud, and I've seen the kids come and go, we've partnered up with a lot of businesses in town that hire some of the kids that we've mentored. We've been able to build financial bridges between kids graduating from high school, going into college or university. And those partnerships are super important because that's what a community is. Right. And so, when I look at kids that are graduating from college and university that 2 or 3 years ago financially or decided to fail grade 12 because they had no means to make it beyond high school, see them graduate or be successful, that's what it's all about for us. Yeah. Right. And I get sad because I see those kids come and go, but my role in this is to mentor those kids to be the best versions of themselves. Yeah. And that's where Riley's at, right? Riley came in as a student through Canadore, and he found his place. And so we've just done what we can, and we've become family, as part of this journey. And I think that it's really, it's a neat opportunity for us.
First things first. First name basis with the Prince. He's dropped the Edward. I was like, okay, we got to talk about this. If we're on first name basis, like, this is pretty cool. Gotta give me that number. But no, let's get back to you, Riley, because you said you came from Canadore College, right?
Yes.
So what's your connection to OUTLoud right now, and how did you get here? Like, what's your story?
Right now, I'm just adult volunteer. And so I'm not from North Bay. Okay. I'm from Niagara. Yep. And I moved up here in 2023 to pursue one of the aircraft maintenance programs.
Oh, fantastic.
And in my time there, so that was 2023-24 school year, and in my time there, I took up a position on student council with Canadore and was the campus rep.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And as far as I've known, was the first trans guy in history to be a campus rep.
Wow. Congratulations.
First trans guy as a campus rep on that campus. So I kind of took it upon myself to use that as an opportunity to educate people there and to just show them that there's a stigma that comes along with the trades and the LGBTQ community. And I kind of wanted to break that, right? Because I could see other people on my campus who were part of the community who probably had never told anybody. And I had some of those kids come up to me and sit in my office with me and go, "You're the only person I've told on this campus. You're the only person that knows." So kind of recognizing the impact that I could make just in that 1 year, I was like, okay, first of all, I love fixing airplanes, but I'm made for bigger things. So that summer I switched into the mental health and addictions program.
Right on.
And since then I've taken on the position of the Pride Club president with Canadore as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So this upcoming year will be my second year doing that.
Good for you.
But I'm just really showing, hey, this is who I am. This is how I'm going to live. I'm going to be the most authentic version of myself I can be. And hopefully that inspires somebody else out there to feel okay enough to do that for themselves.
Dear North Bay, as a single mom and full-time student, life can feel overwhelming and budgets are always tight. But one thing I never question is how deeply I care about my community. When I began volunteering at the North Bay Regional Health Centre, I saw firsthand how much the healthcare system means to people, especially when life takes an unexpected turn. It made me think, what if it was my child, my parent, or my friend that was in need of care? That's when I realized I wanted to do more, to be part of something bigger than myself. I joined the I Give Monthly Club because even a small monthly gift can have a meaningful impact, helping ensure everyone in our community has access to the care they need right here at home. If you believe in strong, local health care, I hope you'll join me. Sign up at nbrhcfoundation.ca or call 705-495-8125. It's simple and it matters. With gratitude, Kim Cosgrove.
Spring is here, and that means one thing. Baseball is back. At Source for Sports North Bay, we're proud to be part of every pitch, every catch, and every moment that brings our community together on the diamond. Whether it's outfitting little leaguers for their very first game, helping local teams suit up for the season, or simply sharing the love of the sport, we're here for it. We're more than just a sports store. We're neighbors, coaches, teammates, and fans. And we're proud to support the leagues, schools, and families who make North Bay's baseball scene so special. Wherever your sports journey takes you, make sure you visit Source for Sports North Bay at 1321 Fisher Street so we can help you along your way.
Once upon a time, I was in student council. My campaign was it was quite silly. It was pie on pie day. Because my last name is Piekarski, right? But no one can get that usually pronounced off the top, right? So they just say pie. And so like that was my campaign. And my thing was to help get the student building operated and running before it was built. But it's always interesting for me to being an old student council person at Nipissing, even though we're all students up there at the the college campus, seeing them take initiative, right? And seeing yourself be like, here, like I love what you said that. I'm made for bigger things, right? I love that you put that way because we all have our calling. We all have certain things that call to us, things that, mean something to us, right? And I think that you said, I want to be that person for other people, I want to be a champion type of thing. I think North Bay needs a lot more of that. And I think the university and the colleges have been doing a great job of doing that. And I think there's a lot of avenues to kind of be a leader in that space. And being a young leader was clearly what you're recognized for, right? You've been helping the youth of North Bay on and off campus here find a place that they can kind of call their own. And that's tough because we talk about where you want to be. You have to kind of go through your own journey and, you're going through your own, but you're helping others find the too, right? And it's got to be really moving, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And it's so rewarding.
It's I'm trying not to get emotional thinking about it, but like it's tough because we do have our own journey, right? And everyone has their own different challenges. I can only imagine what other people go through without being able to experience it. But thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Right? That's powerful. And like I think being part of OUTLoud, you said you're an adult mentor, is that the proper term?
Volunteer,
yes.
Yeah,
okay. So what does that look like for your day-to-day? Like, do you just kind of give your time when you have it? Because you sound like you're a very busy person.
I literally, just in my spare time, I'm there. Seth joked that I'm basically furniture.
Furniture.
Yeah, it's now a running joke with a bunch of the other volunteers there too. But
do you have your own seat? Do you have like a specific seat that's like it's only your seat?
The couches count.
Okay. You have a whole couch?
Well,
he falls asleep on the couch.
There you go.
That's how often he's there.
I was like, if we're calling dibs on many seated furniture, that's a big seat. So, okay, so.
But yeah, I'm kind of just there in my spare time, and I mean, I'm there enough that I think every kid there knows me by name at this point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just, there's part of me that sees, younger me in some of these kids, mm-hmm. and same that goes for a lot of people when they first walk in the space. When I walked in there, if I had this as a kid, wow, things would have been so different. Mm-hmm. And just to be able to be a part of that and to be able to support other kids who do have access to that,
right,
is just rewarding in itself. So
I agree.
And I mean, Riley's come in from Niagara Falls, right? Where there is a lot more gender affirming care. There's a lot more resources available when it comes to mental health or all the other things that we lack access to, right? So when we look at the things that we do at OUTLoud and we really focus on that peer-to-peer support system, because North Bay Regional Healthcare Center just got a gender affirming clinic a few months back, and already there's a 12 to 14 month wait, right? So when we're looking at services that we have access to, some kids that are dealing with their identity can't wait that long, right? Like we've gone through, 5 years of serving our community, and we've lost 4 kids to suicide, right? And that's 4 too many. If we find ways to focus on supporting each other and creating those safe spaces and tapping into ways that we can support each other, then we're saving lives. And that's exactly what our mission's all about, is to create those spaces, create those teams of young and adult-like figures that some of the kids in our community don't have, right? And then we wait it out together.
I love it. I mean, gender affirming care is healthcare, right? Like I stand by that. I think that should make a lot of common sense. I feel like sometimes our world takes a step backwards in terms of how we view and help and support people in our community. But I think it's important to continue to support, those pockets in the community.
And I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't understand it, and that's okay, right? I started my journey at 43 years old. I see my younger self in Riley, and Riley sees his younger self in some of the kids that are younger than him that we support, and it's a cycle. But when I look back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was no representation, there was no language, there was no TV shows, there was no music other than Boy George, right? We all supported Boy George in the 80s, and he dressed in women's clothes and wore makeup, and we didn't think twice about it. But now that things have evolved, people can't keep up with how fast things are evolving, and that's the internet has allowed us to grow very quickly at a very fast, rapid rate. And it's not like we're shoving things down people's throats, because that's not what it's about. My existence is that I deserve to be here just as much as Riley, just as much as some of the younger kids that we support, just as much as anybody else. I have a job in town. I've been married to my wife for 22 years. I have 2 beautiful children. I suck at golf. I play video games. I do all the things that you can do. But when I share my label with people, it changes. Why?
Yeah.
Right? When I just want to exist, just live my life. I'm not out to do any harm, And we look at politics and we look at religion and how that affects our communities. But there's a big shift in North Bay, and that makes me happy. And it's the work that we're doing. It's the conversations that we're having, and those hard conversations, because, growing up here as a kid, very, it's conservative, religious sort of neighborhood. And our community has to understand that we've grown.
Yeah.
And we've exceeded and we've evolved. And so we have to figure out ways to live in our community together.
I love that. I agree. I mean, again, I like to think myself as very vanilla, very boring. I'm a heterosexual white male, born, raised in the city in which I currently exist in for most of my life. I've lived elsewhere. I've seen Toronto. I've lived in Ottawa. But yeah, I would have to agree with you in that North Bay is changing. I mean, there's still lots of work to be done by the looks of it, but those conversations are being had, right? I remember, just a simpler case in point, when Pride was really starting to have more, public activity, and when we got our first Pride parade, that was a big deal, right? That was a pretty big deal. And so just seeing the community kind of recognize that things are changing, right? And also look at it from this sounds so corporate and baloney, but I'm going to do this. Look at it from a business standpoint. Wouldn't this be a good avenue to kind of welcome, people and make them feel here and help foster business so they don't have to move elsewhere? Don't you want them to stay? You know what I mean? That's a good business optic, right? That just makes sense to me. But let's actually, if I can talk about this for a couple more seconds. Obviously, this is a great initiative in terms of having a point of contact and connecting with the provincial government in terms of maybe getting some community access and supports. Are there other things that you're looking at right now in terms of growing with OUTLoud within North Bay and the community in the area to kind of help foster the vision of what OUTLoud's about and helping ensure that those youth are in contact?
Yeah, I mean, we've we have some big plans for a 3.0 version of OUTLoud. I think it'll be a really neat opportunity to offer a number of ways to bring our community together, families together, caregivers and their kids together. And so we're just kind of waiting for the universe to play its role, and we'll be able to launch some more details into what that looks like for us. But our plan is just to continue supporting our community, finding ways to bring kids together with their caregivers, and finding ways that we can support them between now and then.
Is there anything you can do at the government level to kind of, or even like the local level, to kind of like help facilitate operations? Like I'm not quite sure what the day-to-day looks like as like a registered charity, because OUTLoud is. But what does it look like in terms of seeking things to help kind of like, not say keep the lights on, but like how does that look? Because I imagine that there's some challenges innate with that.
Yeah, I mean, we've been a registered charity since 2021. We have a board of directors, so we do have support. We have a team. We work together to, bang out all the opportunities that come our way anyways. We don't have any skilled grant writers. We've recently connected with a grant writing organization or consulting company, and so they've been helping us out quite a bit. Up until right now, we haven't received any sort of government funding. So I've been the main source of financially supporting the space, which I work a full-time job on top of operating OUTLoud. And then we rely strictly on community funds, donations, and membership base. So, I mean, most of our demographic that we support, low-income kids, so a lot of kids can't afford the membership. So we do a lot of outreach work with organizations, local businesses, to have them sponsor a youth for the year so that they can help them financially, and then the kids can enjoy the space at no cost to them. And that's where we advocate most. But yeah, it's month to month, but we make it work, and we're always open to donations. And having those government officials, and we have a lot of support. We have Vic Fidelli comes in. He joins our AGM every year with his wife Patty. Great. And Anthony Rhoda's been through. We have Peter Jericho. Like, we have a lot of community support. City council, but support can only go so far. We need dollars.
You need the green. Yeah,
we need the bills. Yeah. But yeah, it's just we just make it work. And, obviously we're always open to donations, but it's one thing that I'm going to continue to fight for.
So if I can ask, what's the membership cost look like per month, per year? What's that look like for an individual?
Yeah, so it's $28.25 a month.
Per month?
Yeah, per month, per youth. So it's like $340 a year. Not a lot of money for most, right?
It's really not.
No, we try to keep it, like, if I could, and when I get some funding opportunities to kind of cover that option, then it just becomes a space and there's no cost involved, right? But for now, in order to help us, keep the lights on and the doors open, it's something that we really have to, it's an ask, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's always, again, like, being the host of the show, being the director of Echo. Like, for me, like, it's humbling, because I like to think I know my city, and like I know certain parts of it, and then like I hear about new stories and new initiatives and all things happening. This feels like a vanity project for me to learn more. It should kind of essentially fundamentally acts like it, but it's always nice to hear from members of our community, especially those who need the support. And thank you for coming in, of course, always. I'm sure you'll be having some chats with Edward at some point on the group message. That would have been so funny if you guys have like a WhatsApp group, like, yo, Ed, what are you doing? Like, y'all play some Smash right now? Like, it's like, no Mewtwo, but
hey, bro, how's your day?
Yeah, maybe start with how's your day, but okay, yeah. I mean, is there anything else that you want to talk about or promote coming up this summer?
We have a summer camp. We have 4 weeks, 2 weeks in July, 2 weeks in August. So next week's our first week. It's open right now. We had a private donor to support 20 kids for all 4 weeks. So we're looking to fill some of those spots. And yeah, I guess right now our next big, we just wrapped up our annual fundraising event at the waterfront 2 weeks ago. So that helped us raise $11,000. So
there you go.
That was kind of cool.
Nice.
And it was my 50th birthday, so it was even bigger.
Happy birthday. There you go.
Yes, we have our upcoming battalion game. Normally we do a inclusion, diversity, and equity night with, sponsored by the Deacon Wealth Management. So that'll be early January, February. So that's all we got going on right now.
Brilliant. Well, lots going on.
Yeah.
Lots of things happening. I'm gonna I'm gonna visit. I'm gonna come hang out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
for sure.
check out the place because it's just, again, it's just me learning about a place that I thought I knew. But there's so much cool stuff happening. So again, Seth, Riley, thank you for coming on. Really do appreciate it. And again, I'm jealous about the trip. I will contain my jealousy. But update us as you know more. And so thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Echo Essentials podcast. My name has been Chris Piekarski. We appreciate every watch, listen, like, every bit of engagement. Feel free to let us know how you like the show. Share it with your friends, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find us. Let us know what you think. And thanks for listening. Take care.